22-yard line.
The Patriots take over 1st and 10 at their own 22-yard line.
Let's go now. 50, plant.
Check 41. I got one.
Leo.
Check 17. Let's go.
Now the leading rusher for the Pats last year is a rookie, Sony Michel. A bad start there. A big loss on their first play from scrimmage. It's 2nd down.
All right, quick observation, Brandon, because early on in this game, I'm seeing linebackers playing with their noses close to the line of scrimmage.
And my guess is the wheels are turning on that other sideline. As a play caller, you're filing that away right now, aren't you?
Yeah, you're trying to find that opportunity later on when you can play action them or stick something to them between the 2nd and the 3rd level.
Looking to throw on 2nd down. Herbert. And this one incomplete. Too much contact to hold on to that one, and it's 3rd down.
Well, it's easy to see when we review this that the ball needs to come out quicker, because if you don't throw it right on the break, you bring a crowd of people into the equation.
And that's why it got knocked away there. And I don't think this is the script they had in mind for their opening drive. This is 3rd and long.
Hey, 4 down.
Ready?
From the gun, Herbert. He's going to air one out. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete.
Certainly looked like they were getting ready to convert there on 3rd down, but what an effort to get his hand on that one, knock it away, and brings up a 4th down decision.
Now here's Ross. 12 yards on the return that time, and the Ravens, they'll take over. So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33.
Hey, here we go. Watch the pass. Check. Watch it before. It's a play.
They get 14 on that one. That's good for a Baltimore 1st down.
Well, partner, for a few years there, we thought this read option play was going to take over the whole NFL. It seemed like everyone was using it, but it has been scaled back considerably in the last few seasons, mainly because people are worried about their quarterbacks getting hit. But when you call it at the right time and you use it properly, you see the type of gains you can get. A nice chunk of yardage there by the quarterback.
Jackson on 1st down. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Don't need it all back at once, but you figure they're going to need something here. 17 yards to go on 2nd down. And he'll get this across the 40 and up to about the 42-yard line. He'll wind up getting 3 on the keeper there, but it leads to a 3rd down.
That's a really good job right there. Just kept stringing that play out, pushing him further and further towards the sideline. Really good fundamentals by that defense.
He was trying to put his foot in the ground and turn upfield. He just couldn't.
No, they really had a picket fence in front of him. No room to find to get upfield.
Here's Jackson on 3rd and long. He can run for it. Jackson hit, and he lost the football. And it's picked up by the Patriots. And they take possession 2 yards away from midfield at the 48-yard line.
When I see a play like that, I come back to risk-reward. I don't know about you, but is it worth it at that point, whatever you're going to pick up, to either take the hit, and in this case, lose the football?
So should have gone down. I mean, hindsight's always 20/20, but that's the safe play.
You're exactly right. Hindsight's really never wrong, is it? Because you can analyze it, but I think ultimately you get
nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
Well, so much for setting the tone of the drive offensively. Giving up a big sack that loses that kind of yardage, not a great start.
Ready,
Well, they're in
ready.
some hot water now. After that sack, it's 2nd and 21.
Get it.
They'll run with a former Super Bowl hero. It's James White. And he'll get it down to the 47 here. It's a pickup of 12, and that'll set up a 3rd down. Caught the defense off guard there a bit on 2nd and long, but now you still have to deal with 3rd and long.
Yeah, you do, but you feel pretty good about the last play, don't you? And maybe it gives you a little bit of confidence dialing up the next one, and maybe your team will believe in it when you send it in.
Now a 3rd down throw, but it misses the target, incomplete.
Didn't have a receiver open downfield, and as it turned out, couldn't even find his outlet man because of the coverage. It was way too tight, unable to find anyone open.
On is the punt team now as this one's sent away. And out of bounds, sailed over, looked like right near the pylon. This one's going to be perfect. Directional kicking at its finest, right down at the 1-yard line. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. And it's only November, but the playoffs, we know how it works. They'll be here before you know it. If it ended today, they would be the #1 seed.
And that's a great spot to be in, but I love the phrase, if it ended today. And I'll guarantee you, that's what they've discussed in their locker room, in their meeting rooms. Yeah, we know where we'd be if it ended today, but we also know it's not ending today.
Right.
So they've got to continue to play the type of ball that put them in the spot where they're #1 in their conference.
On 2nd down now, it's Coleman, and they'll bring him down right around the 13. They'll get 3 as the drive continues. It's a 1st down.
Defensively here, you're facing a top-5 team in terms of points scored in the NFL, so when they're that high-powered, you've got to find a way to hold them under 20, because to me, that's the magic number. 20 points scored, you give yourself your best chance to win.
So if they're up around 24, 28, 30, they could be in some trouble.
And I think so, because then you turn it into a shootout, and that means your offense has to keep pace.
And he takes us across the 15 to the 17. Jonathan Jones there to make the stop.
A gain of 4. It's now 2nd and 6. The 17-yard line.
Jackson hit, and he lost the football.
On plays like this where the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back, because this is the quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
He's going deep for Brown, and that's caught inside the 30. And all the way in for a Ravens touchdown. Marquise Brown, his 14th touchdown now on the year, as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter. Justin Tucker for the extra point. And the Ravens lead at 7-0. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And all that work, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been had he simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. The Pats at the line, ready to go. They've had it twice. They've punted twice. Not the start they were hoping for.
Not at all. And let's face it, every facility we visit, everyone talks about converting on 3rd down, how big that is. In this situation, they've had to punt it away twice, so they're furiously going over things on the sidelines. What do we need to do to pick up a 1st down and change our momentum?
At the 25-yard line.
Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again, 2nd and 10.
Move.
Hey, Charlie. Step.
Operating from the gun. Herbert buying time to his left. It's just a gain of a couple there on the scramble, and now it's third down. The Ravens bring out an extra defensive back here on third. From the gun, Herbert. The pass complete. It's Bird. A really nice gain of 25 yards.
Never make the mistake that the slot receivers, especially the little guys like we're watching here, are just quicker than fast. A lot of them combine quickness and speed, and they catch a lot of footballs, as we just saw there.
Back to throw. Herbert, this is White on the screen. And that play goes nowhere. Taken down, losing yardage at the 50, right at midfield.
You know what the key to a good screen pass is, don't you?
But you're going to tell me, good blocking?
Well, good blocking eventually. But first is good acting. You want to let the defenders go past you, leak out to whichever side or even in the middle where you want to set up the screen, and then you do your blocking. How about the read, though, by the defensive guys? They weren't fooled at all and actually ran with the lineman to where the play was and smothered it.
And he's going to go down. They sack him back at the 42. Tyus Bowser just would not be denied. That's a loss of 7. Need something from deep in the bag of tricks here after first and second down went backwards. It's third and very long.
Go, go. Go out.
Operating from the gun, Herbert. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Marlon Humphrey. And he's free going down the left side. It's a foot race. And he will score. Touchdown, Baltimore. Well, we know this defense has athleticism. Spots like that prove us right.
I love the way that you spotlighted the athleticism because you and I both know the best athletes on the field, they play on defense.
Oh, I don't know. I was a kicker. You got to remember that now.
Come on, come on.
Fine. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. The Pats at the line, ready to go. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points, get that 0 off the board. The last play got just a yard. Here's 2nd and 9 from the 26.
Hey, foxtrot, foxtrot. Ready?
From the gun, Herbert. And he's got Edelman for the first time. That's complete. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. That goes as a gain of 11 and a Patriot first down.
Patriots.
Come on, set.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10.
Topper, topper.
First down, here's White. And this winds up a gain of 4 to the 41.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable 2nd down, a very solid gain on that play.
At the 41-yard line.
82 is mine. I got 82. 82 is mine.
To throw on 2nd down. Herbert nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
I'm starting to feel for that quarterback back there. I mean, you know me. Normally, don't have a lot of empathy for the QB, right? In this case, he's been under constant duress this entire game. I don't know how he's surviving back there.
And to think, there's still a long way to go in this football game. throwing on 3rd and long. Herbert. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off by Troy Apke. And they will be set up now as he brings this thing all the way back inside the 20. CD, I know it's just his 2nd year in the league as a quarterback, but that's going to be one when he flips on the tape. He's like, I shouldn't have thrown that ball.
No doubt about it, and his coaching staff will be emphatic about he shouldn't have thrown that ball. But remember, 2nd year, as you noted, on-the-job training, so he's got to take this feedback that he's getting, negative or otherwise, and turn it into positives moving forward.
And it's intercepted at the goal line. Picked up by Jonathan Jones. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
Boy, that's the kind of interception that can save a game right there. They're already down 2 scores. Huge play, slowing down what was going against them.
I was thinking the same thing. You get down 3 scores there at this stage, could be in for a long ball game. They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. Dance it. And for the 3rd time here in this half, it's intercepted. Picked off here by Jimmy Smith. And he is not quite going to make it all the way in. They'll mark him down right about the 1-yard line. Boy, so another interception, CD. It feels like he's starting to unravel a little bit.
And as you would expect, still a work in progress here in his 2nd season. He has to start ironing out some of these mistakes, though, because now his head coach, his offensive coaches, they have...
Got a man, it's caught for a Ravens touchdown. Hollywood Marquise Brown with touchdown number 15 of the year and 2nd of the game as the Ravens push further out in front. Tucker able to connect on the extra point, and it's now 21-0. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. The Pats at the line, ready to go. And some dangerous territory. You're already down 3 scores. A 3-and-out here, or an inability to put any points up. This one might be over by half.
Yeah, and what you also have to guard against is calling every play for a big shot downfield. You know, thinking you're going to get all these points back on one drive. You're not. And last time I looked, it's still the first half. I'm not saying you have ultimate patience here, but you also don't have to go ahead and force everything either.
The Pats at the line, ready to go. And we don't want to call this desperation time, especially in the 2nd quarter, but you're down.
You don't want to.
No, but let me finish.
Okay, my bad.
You're down 3 scores already. You've done nothing offensively, nothing on the scoreboard. That's not a good combination.
I think you just called it desperation time. I think you did. But let's face it, you mentioned this to me in a break earlier in the game. The energy level hasn't been there right from the start. We've noticed that. They've got to find a way to get on their toes and start punching instead of retreating, to use a boxing analogy.
Looking to throw on 2nd down. Herbert. And that'll be incomplete. Took a pretty good shot as he tried to pull that one in. Couldn't hang on 3rd down.
That would have been a great catch, but it's real difficult to hold on to it because it was contested all the way. Would have been a great play if he'd been able to haul that one in.
New England on 3rd down. Just 1 for 5 to this point. This is going to be 3rd and 13. Operating from the gun, Herbert. And there's the first NFL catch for N'Keal Harry. They'll get 10 there, but it leaves them just short for 4th down. And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action. Coming up in a couple of minutes, we'll get you to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. The coach will have stats and scores from earlier today in the NFL.
Hey, seam 6. Seam 6.
They're indeed going for it as they look to throw. And it is incomplete. So certainly an interesting call there to go for it. And the Ravens get the football back and in great shape. So they'll come up first and 10 now from the 33.
Here we go, D. Here I come again. Here I come again. Here I come again. 22, Jet, Bubba. 22, Jet, Bubba.
And not much running room. Down to the 32. Devin McCourty brings him down.
Check, 54, 954.
Brings up second and 9.
It's a gain of about 3, but it's going to leave him with third and still 7 yards to go.
You got 3 down.
That's a gain of 3. It's third and 7.
Zoom. Mike 5-4.
On third down, Jackson looks to throw, fires right side. And that's going to be incomplete. The coverage too good there. The contact popped the ball free, and it's fourth down.
Justin Tucker on for the field goal. A 47-yard.
And his kick is absolutely perfect. Tucker named the league's all-pro kicker for the 3rd time in 2018.
Go ahead and admit it. The only time that you get excited about Justin Tucker kicking is when he actually misses.
It's
and
rare.
excited is not the right word. Surprise is more what we're talking about. 90.1% coming into 2019. He's incredible.
Ready?
The Pats at the line, ready to go. And you're under a minute to go in the half, a first half that hasn't been particularly kind to you. How do you think they'll play this?
Well, I think the smart approach is to run out the clock, lick your wounds at the half, and see if you can come up with a strategy to play better in the second. But
And for the 4th time tonight, it's an interception. Picked off by Tavon Young. We haven't even escaped the first half, and he's already thrown 4 picks.
And Brandon, back in the good old days, probably back before you were born, if your starter threw 4 in the first half, he might throw 8 or more for the game because they weren't going to pull him out. But nowadays, the patience level isn't quite there. He's going to have to make some real adjustments, or the backup may see some time.
They run. It's Mark Ingram. He's got a first down and then some inside the 40. Good yardage as he rumbles for 24 and a first. Baltimore was the most run-heavy team in the league last year after Lamar Jackson took over as a starter. And you think about Mark Ingram. He goes from a situation where he was sharing time with Kamara in New Orleans. Now he figures to be the top guy in the Baltimore backfield. Although I guess you could say he's kind of splitting time with his quarterback, Lamar Jackson. But a great... And this is caught. Touchdown, Baltimore. Marquise Brown on his way to a monster game. 3 first-half touchdowns as his guys continue to put this one out of reach. Tucker with the extra point, and the route is on here in this first half. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. The Pats at the line, ready to go. And what do you think goes on here in this situation? If you got the football, you're trailing, you're back in your own territory with just a little time. Do you try something?
You're thinking about jump-starting your team, right? You just mentioned they're down. They're trying to get back into the game. But you got to figure, if something goes wrong, you may have put yourself in a spot where you may not be able to come back in the second half. Managing risk, this is a big decision here.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. He's got his tight end, Jake Butt. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. And this offense going to elect to burn a timeout with 5 seconds remaining in quarter number 2. So even though it's first down, here's the field goal unit on now to try to get 3 before halftime. This from 54 yards away. And I don't think this has the carry. It does not. It's no good. So we've reached halftime here in what is quickly turning into quite a rout. As we send you down to Orlando, where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports halftime report. Coach. The Ravens ready to receive it, and they've got the lead as well as we resume play in the second half. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And all that worked, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been, and he's simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. The Baltimore offense at the line, set to get going. They built a good first-half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Back to the ground, this time with Ingram. And this winds up a pickup of 2, maybe 2.5 to about the 39.
A gain of 2 brings up 2nd and 8 at the 39-yard line.
51's the mic. 51's the mic.
He's got the first down and more past midfield.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them.
First and 10 at the 36-yard line.
So into Pat's territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 36. And now Jackson will look to throw it. He's going to let this go for the end zone. And oh, it'll be intercepted. Picked up by Jonathan Jones. First possession of the 3rd quarter, an interception, so maybe a second-half tone setter.
Indeed, and not the tone they wanted to set. That's the equivalent of running out the wrong door and running into your pool instead of running out onto the field. A real dud for that one.
Has that happened to you before?
No, but I've heard stories about teams actually doing that back in the good old days.
Now a pass dropped off here for James White. This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2. With James White, you know that he can catch the football. He was 3rd in the NFL amongst running backs last year with 87 catches. And as we've seen, sometimes they come in bunches. Super Bowl 51, he had 14 grabs, including the winning score. Last year in the divisional round versus the Chargers, 15 receptions for White. It'll go as a loss of a yard, and it'll set up 3rd down.
We think, Brandon, I like the intensity this defense is showing right here in these first few drives. They're not just holding the line because they're doing their job, but they're doing more than that, aren't they? They're getting a nice push into the offensive backfield.
And a great example right there for the loss on the tackle. And he's going to get to the 31, enough for the first down. 3rd down turns to 1st with that 5-yard pickup.
First down, Patriots.
This quarterback now 8 of 17 so far, under 50%.
Switch. Watch the ship. Watch the ship. Hey, watch the ship. Watch the ship.
Protein spill. Hit it.
from the gun. Herbert. And my goodness, another interception. Picked off by Marlon Humphrey. And he will score. Touchdown, Baltimore. This D wanted to put it away before we even get to the fourth quarter, widening that margin a bit further.
And while they won't just empty the bench just yet, if you're a backup, start loosening up. I think you'll get a chance to play before this one is over now with that type of a cushion.
Tucker able to connect on the extra point, and that will extend this big lead. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. The Pats at the line, ready to go. They've got to dig down deep. I mean, they need something right now, really anything to cling on to. This offense has struggled.
Partner, join me in a walk to their locker room at the half, okay? Because I think what we would have seen is an offensive coordinator and his assistant coaches getting together with all their positions, then coming together as a group, going over adjustments, and then the head coach coming in and just screaming, wake up.
Yeah.
Let's get moving, guys.
I'm kind of glad we weren't in there at halftime, actually.
I mean, you think you might have turned it on us, too?
Yeah, but right now, whatever was said hasn't been working. To throw on second down. Herbert. And now here is another interception. Picked off by Troy Apke. And he will bring this back. It's a pick-6 and a Raven touchdown. Tucker now to add the point after. And the lead grows even larger here in the third quarter.
Next to score, Ravens 45, Patriots nothing. Justin Tucker to kick off football.
So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick-6. And now the kick is away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line.
25-yard line.
The Pats at the line, ready to go. They have been struggling. I would imagine at halftime they went through some possible changes. Well, those changes aren't working, so now where do you go?
I think that now it's much more in their head. And what I mean by that is just what you said. You've gone over the changes. I bet they were pretty clinical at the half, not too emotional. They might need to go to the emotional side because you've got to find something, some spark somewhere. And so far, just being calm hasn't exactly worked.
They need any spark at this point. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10.
X3, 218, chop it.
They stay on the ground. This time it's Michel. And he's tackled a yard short of the marker. Good gain of 9 on 1st down.
Some runs are blocked so well, you almost forget that someone has to carry the ball to gain the yardage. The leverage by the offensive line to create space up front, really well done.
The last run got 9. That leaves him with 2nd and a yard.
Hey, Alpha.
2nd and 1. He's got Jake Butt as tight end. And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. That goes as a gain of 11 and a Patriot 1st down. This quarterback now 5 straight completions here in this second half. 1st and 10. Running out of the gun with White. And he's corralled, but not before getting it inside the 35. That'll be a New England 1st down, a gain of 12.
They're making it look easy out there. Another 1st down. So far on this drive, let me do this little bit of math here. 4 plays, 3 1st downs.
That's a pretty good recipe for success. Still in search of their first touchdown of the game, but they're on the move. 1st and 10.
Under 10, 10. Back.
Ready.
They go right back to White here on first down. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. Another example of just a dominant performance by this defense.
Yeah, you hear all the time about teams that try to steal signals from the other side and try and learn their signs and their tendencies. It's almost like they get the answers to the exam the night before and were well prepared for this final.
Now a quick throw as that's complete on the hitch route.
Here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
With the score, Ravens 45, Patriots nothing.
Finally, a first red zone opportunity for these guys. They have a 1st and 10 at the 13-yard line. They'll run with White. And he'll get this one down to about the 10-yard line. Give him 3 on first down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7.
You know that old expression, it's not my night? It hasn't been his so far. I don't know if the legs are a little bit heavy. Sometimes having to hang out all day and play doesn't exactly play to your advantage, but it's been a tough go for him.
Every time he looks up, somebody's there defensively. That was the same case on that play. This is caught, and he's able to get it down to the 2-yard line. So with the completed pass and the yardage they got, they'll decline the penalty.
So obviously, more yards on the pass completion than they would have gained with the penalty. They did the math. They did it well, and it works for them.
So it's still 1st and goal, but now they get to try from a bit closer.
Crunch. Shift, shift, shift. Kill, 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 kill. Shift, shift. Check the backer, check the backer. Check.
Pilot, 64, weak, hit it.
They'll try and run it with White. And he's over the line and into the end zone for a Patriot score. James White, his 5th touchdown now on the year. And the Patriots able to get this back to within at least some measure of respectability. Gostkowski the extra point as they make the score just a slight bit more respectable here in the final quarter of play. Gostkowski now after the touchdown. He'll send this one away. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. Charles, you said earlier this defense is probably going to need to hold these guys right around 20 or under that if they were going to have a chance. It was evident pretty early on that wasn't going to happen.
Yeah, they left 20 behind a long time ago in this game, didn't they? It looks like they're headed towards a big, big number. But 20 was the threshold because that kept them in the ball game and kept the pressure off of their own offense.
25 yards there on the catch and run. Nice big gain there from Marquise Brown, 1st-round pick out of Oklahoma. Of course, his cousin knows a thing or two about big catches in the NFL. That's Antonio Brown. And now Hollywood hoping to carry on the family tradition of solid production at the wide receiver position.
66, pull it, pass. Watch my board. Hey, keep it up, keep it up.
Throwing now, Jackson on 1st down. Pressure, and he's going to be taken down. They sack him back right around the 44. Now following the sack, they'll look to make amends on a 2nd down and 17. Jackson now forced out to his left. Jackson hit, and he lost the football. And it's picked up by the Patriots. And they're going to be set up in the red zone at the 15.
With no running backs in the backfield to help pass protect, all the receivers in their patterns, it's going to be hot routes. If they sense a blitz or pressure on the quarterback, they've got to be prepared to break routes off early and get the football. In this case, never even had it.
And my goodness, another interception. Picked off by Marlon Humphrey. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
The Ravens take over 1st and 10 at their own 2-yard line.
The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. We find ourselves here in the midst of a one-sided affair. A lot of fill time down the stretch, Mr. Davis.
So we could talk about food because that is something that you and I both enjoy.
We share that.
We enjoy our time at the table. So maybe the best steakhouses in the city, but in all seriousness, the performances that we've seen this year, we've seen a bunch of great ones, and it's going to be hard to parse who's going to win the MVP.
Yeah, it really is.
Is it going to be a runner? Is it going to be a thrower? Can a defender finally win it this season? Those are the things that we could probably discuss.
And collectively, this is about as dominant of a performance as you could have hoped for on both sides of the football.
Might have to put it #1 for what we've seen this season.
A big hitter there from deep in their own territory. And even 70 yards.
First and 10 at the 28-yard line.
So forget about any talk of possible safeties. Here's first and 10 clear on the other side of the field.
Check.
I don't think anyone in the building fooled right there, as that one is going to blow up in their faces. Different story this time around. We had that huge gain followed by a sizable loss here.
Hey, watch the screen, watch the screen. Watch his head, yeah. Hot something, hot something.
Throwing on second and long. Jackson got him in. It's Brown. And he'll go out of bounds inside the 15-yard line. That one a gain of 20 and a first down. That's the #2 receiver in the NFL in terms of yardage. And tell you what, a few more plays like that, he won't be #2 for long.
But that's what often happens when you have competitors running around the field. These guys know where they stand in relationship to yardage, totals, numbers, the whole deal. And let's face it, all of them, they all want to be #1.
And he'll fight his way down right around the 12. Dante Hightower on the stop.
No lack of guts at all on that one. Normally in this situation in the red zone, that type of play isn't run, but I think they're trying to catch the defense off guard and also break tendency. No one really runs that type of a play. Guess what? We are. Let's see how you handle it.
On second and 7, Jackson, and give him another 6. It's caught for a touchdown, and the blowout continues. Now Tucker to add the PAT. Now this one was over a while ago as they just add on to their big lead. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And all that worked, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been, and he's simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. The Pats at the line, ready to go. And the interception thrown in the red zone last time. We'll see if they can rebound.
I just have to think the last thing he said as they went back out there was, don't do that again. What do you think?
What do you think?
Yeah, I think that. I think that not only did he say that, but he also told him, let's put it in the end zone that it's supposed to be in, all right? The end zone we're trying to score. I know we're being a little bit facetious here, but the bottom line is take care of the football, and everything else should flow from there.
Quick lesson, never ask the play-by-play guy a question.
Hey, you're my partner. I know you're right there with me.
Bring it. Bring it.
Here's second and 8. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Tyus Bowser able to record his 5th sack of the season.
That right now, that's a defeated team out there. I think you can see it totally in their body language.
Hands on hips, heads low. It's just been a struggle from the start.
Yeah, this team has been thoroughly beaten right from the word go.
Show it up.
Watch the safety creep. Hey, zoom. Tight dog. Topper. Check. Lucky.
Throwing on 3rd and long. Herbert now a desperation throw deep downfield. And now here's another interception. Picked off by Ronald Darby. All smiles and high fives on that defensive sideline. That interception will cap off what was truly a tremendous performance.
Yeah, if you can hold a team to 7 points in the NFL, that's the kind of day that you feel really good about. And I do know a few guys are going to think to themselves, held him to 7. If we made one more play, could have had our shutout.
And he'll be tackled right on the chalk of the 45. 16 yards on that one and a Raven first. A big play to start him out. Has him at the 45 already. And they take a knee.
A loss of a yard brings up 2nd and 11 at the 43-yard line.
Here we go. 18 Gator. 4.
Better bring it. You better bring it.
Shut up.
And they'll indeed take a knee.
Jackson on the keeper.
Well, Charles, it's one thing to win. It's another thing to win and put up the amount of points that they did. Boy, were they clicking on offense.
They can't help but feel great about themselves, can they? I mean, what a game to put up that number of points, continually feeling like they're moving the ball and things are working and clicking. They think that they can bottle this and carry it with them.
And as an offensive coordinator, you just don't think you can do anything wrong. Whatever you call, run, pass, it's all going to work.
That's called being in the zone.
So for Baltimore, they continue to cruise through this first half of the schedule as they move to 8-0 now on the campaign. And they will hit the road next week to take on the Cincinnati Bengals. Meanwhile, for the Patriots, their season is on life support somewhat now at 3-6. And they're going to get an extra week to stew over this as they're not back in action until week 11.